I was just like blown away because I had never heard of Balloon Fiesta back in 1991 when I moved to Albuquerque. And I thought, oh, yeah, probably just a couple of balloons. I'd been ballooning in Montana, and that was really nice. But when I got there, and I was just blown away to see all of these balloons launching in waves. I was really awestruck. And it was such a visual feast to see all of these balloons back then launching off of a dirt field, taking to the sky and flying in the Albuquerque Box. I realized that I was really a Jedi in training. There was so much I needed to learn.
This is Festival Pass Stories, a podcast series is told by the people who create and make festivals come to life. You will go behind the stage, kitchen, or studio door to hear the stories of passion and inspiration that started some of the world's most beloved festivals. Hear the startup stories and how an idea went from what if to what's next. All right, friends, this is the Festival Pass Stories podcast, where we are produced by Jonah Wright and, of course, presented by Dos Hombres, the artisanal mezcal meant to be shared. Created by Aaron Paul and Brian Cranston. Have a drink with us at doshombres.com/delivery. And my guest today is going to have a couple of Cranston Paul stories, I feel, because you'll find out about that in just a moment. But hey, fans, ever wanted to have the opportunity to invest in a product early? That could be the next Airbnb. People are saying, is that Dos Hombres? No, what it is learn why entrepreneurs and celebrities with exits approaching 10 billion have already invested in Festival Pass. Go to invest.festivalpass.com to learn more. And I teased it, so here we go, friends. We are always talking about festivals as parties, and in this case, we are using the term fiesta because my guest today is the head of media relations for the Albuquerque International Balloon, not Festival, but Fiesta, which I'm sure people call it a festival all the time, and you're always translating. You're like, fiesta, it means party. Okay, if there's 5 words in Spanish, I know that is one of them right there. You need the cervezas for the party, on the playa, on the beach, or in this case, perhaps in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Tom Garrity. Tom, what's happening, my friend?
Oh, it's so good to be here. I really appreciate your hospitality in that lead in. I feel the pressure now to really just deliver.
It's okay. We will take a breath. Yeah. We will get rid of the hot air. And we will let it go into the lift of the balloons. Let's let off some ballast, perhaps. I'm learning all these terms. Yeah. During the pandemic, I've put some ballast on here, so I need to drop some myself. But, I'm talking to the powers that be at Festival Pass and see if perhaps we could change our name to Fiesta Pass. That sounds like something I want to be a part of. Of course, I'm already a member of Festival Pass, but get me to Fiesta Pass. My God.
Fiesta Pass would be amazing. Actually, we should have a Fiesta Pass here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, just as like a fast pass, but it's the Fiesta Pass.
Yes.
To greatness, to fun. Yeah. I love it.
That's for the VIP stuff. And what we will get into how I can get my VIP ticket to this year's Fiesta, which is around the corner. And you've been around the Balloon Fiesta for 30 years. And what was that first experience like back in 91? I believe you were working in media at the time on the television side.
Yeah, it was really interesting because, Balloon Fiesta, since it started in 1972, has moved around to 7 different locations. And so we were at that point at location number 6, which was a dirt lot. And so there's just a lot of dirt and about 600 plus hot air balloons on that particular field. And when everybody was first telling me about it, they said, "Oh, you've got to, you're on for Fiesta coverage." And I'm like going, "I don't know what that means, but it sounds a lot of fun." And
I'll cover the party.
Yeah, I am totally on with it. And it was pretty amazing. I was just like blown away because I had never heard of Balloon Fiesta back in 1991 when I moved to Albuquerque. And I thought, oh, yeah, probably just a couple of balloons. I'd been ballooning in Montana, and that was really nice. But when I got there, and I was just blown away to see all of these balloons launching in waves. I was really awestruck. And it was such a visual feast to see all of these balloons back then launching off of a dirt field, taking to the sky and flying in the Albuquerque box, I realized that I was really a Jedi in training. There was so much I needed to learn about ballooning in Albuquerque. And so it's been a 30-year journey that I'm still learning things on a regular basis. And that's the beauty of Fiesta.
And from the dirt field to where is it taking place now?
It's actually just taking due north. And so the old launch field is now where we have a lot of our parking for our guests. We have RV parking there. We also have an offsite Target during our competition days there. And it's really, so it's now has been transformed and reused. And our new field number 7, our permanent home, is Balloon Fiesta Park. And that's all located in the north part of Albuquerque. So if you land in Albuquerque and you're thinking, I want to drive around, I want to drive up to Santa Fe, you will pass by Balloon Fiesta Park on your way up to Santa Fe.
Okay. So there you go, folks. And lots happening in Albuquerque. And of course, since you then left the news world and you joined the Albuquerque Convention Visitors Bureau, and as I said, lots happening. So you heard what I was saying there. I was teasing something about Albuquerque and the Dos Hombres themselves, Aaron Paul and Brian Cranston, our sponsors at Dos Hombres. They found the mezcal, but the fandom, perhaps I should say, for their show Breaking Bad was incredible. Now, I grew up in New Jersey, and there's like these Sopranos tours and everything. And, there's a lot of elements for both shows that you're sort of like, oh God, I wish my town wasn't being seen like that. But is this what's happening? Are there tours going on? And there are just people coming in waves to see this?
Yeah, I mean, it was, the 5 seasons of Breaking Bad were amazing for Albuquerque. I mean, plus, I would venture to say, not to go off on a tangent, but season 5 of Breaking Bad, one of the best seasons of television in history. I mean,
I was about to say, hold on, spoiler alert, folks, for those who haven't seen it, maybe want to tune out just for a second there. But no, we're not going to give away the ending.
No spoiler alerts. I just a lead in to say, what a wonderful series it was. And, Albuquerque, there's an RV tour. So you can actually do a tour in the Bounder RV, which has a very prominent place in Breaking Bad, especially season 1. And then you can also stop by the A1A car wash, which is, it's now a Mr. Car Wash, but they have a nice little kind of display and exhibit there to kind of, bring you up to speed on it. I would not advise, for those who are really the true fans, I would not advise getting a pizza and throwing a pizza on top of Walt's old house on the roof, because the owners not all that thrilled about all the pizzas that they have to get down off of their roof. But, it has been a great ride. And for me, I love watching it because I get to look around and, watch the series, even with Better Call Saul, the prequel that is now in its sixth season, and just go, oh, I've been there. Oh, I know that place. And, oh, I didn't know that. And one of our clients is Twister's Burgers. And Twister's is also known as El Pollo Loco.
Ah, yes.
And the original location in the South Valley. It's a great place. They also have an exhibit there. And it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
That's incredible. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, what is it going to be? I was thinking exactly RV tour in the desert, and then to that laundry warehouse where Walt was downstairs cooking, as he would say. Let's cook. So let's keep cooking with hot air on this. Yeah, it's not a good Brian Cranston, but I'll work on it. He's going to hear this.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. It's, but yeah, so you can literally go all over Albuquerque. I'm not sure how far west it goes, like out to Tahajali, which is one of the episodes in season 5, which I won't say anything else. I will say though that the town used to be called Canyoncito.
Okay.
And it changed it back to its original name of Tahajali, maybe about 5 years ago. But I'm not sure if it's a part of the Breaking Bad tour. But yeah, you can get the full Breaking Bad experience here in Albuquerque. It's been fun. It's been a fun way for people to remember the city.
So besides the Breaking Bad RV tour and all that, you've also got Roswell, and then you've got, let's bring it back here to something coming up around the corner, the Balloon Fest. I almost said festival, the Balloon Fiesta. Folks. And you have been a spokesperson now for the Balloon Fiesta. It just sounds nice when you say it that way. For more than 20 years at this point. And the event has a lot of history. You mentioned it was started in 72 in this dirt field. But when did it become an international fest? Or Fiesta?
The Fiesta, the very first one was as a result of a radio promotion. A local radio station was celebrating their 50th anniversary. And what they decided is that Sid Cutter, the founder of the event, got together with Dick McKee and Tom Rutherford with the local radio station. And they said, what we have to do is we need to do something big to celebrate. And Sid says, I've got a lot of friends around the country. We've always been wanting to do a hot air balloon kind of event. And so they said, great, let's have it in Albuquerque in conjunction with our 50th. And so Sid invited all of his friends, and of course, weather impacted everybody getting from point A to point B. So it was Sid and 12 of his closest friends, and 13 balloons launched from Coronado Mall, and they flew over the interstate and they landed in the New Mexico State Fairgrounds. And that was the very first one. The international aspect actually kicked in the next year because the next 2 years it was launching out of the state fairgrounds. And so that actually brought the very first international balloons. And then eventually, a short time after, everything kind of formalized, and we had the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And it's just has been a really great signature event for the state of New Mexico and for ballooning ever since.
And there's also been some serious history done at this festival. Tell me about the 2000, the year 2000. Tell me about the year 2000 event and the world records that you set there that year.
Yeah. Well, so Sid Cutter always had this vision of launching 1,000 balloons in 2000. He would always just he would say, we're going to do 1,000 in 2000. And of course, the staff is going, how are we going to do 1,000 in 2000? We've only ever done at the most about 679 at this point. And so the Balloon Fiesta at that point moved to its new field. And so we inaugurated the new field with the launch of the Balloon Fiesta and 1,019 balloons. Because we had a larger field, we could figure out how we could do different waves by fitting a certain number of balloons into each wave. Wow. And so 1,019 balloons launched to the skies. It was simply amazing. But, really, after you launch about 500, you really start to lose count.
Yeah. I was going to say, because I've seen some pictures and I saw like 70 or so going up at once. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And that's perhaps all you can fit in one of the pictures on your website. But I was doing the math and I was like, man, there's 70 balloons times 34. These are like $40,000 for a new hot air balloon. This is big business. These are millions and millions of dollars that are up in the air at one time.
All at once. Yeah, it's really a sight to see. In fact, the perspective that you have of maybe one picture where you count only maybe 70 or 100 balloons is just that perspective. Because from the middle of Balloon Fiesta, you can literally do 360 degrees and you'd have balloons all around you. Incredible. And so, it's really quite the sight to see. One of the reasons balloonists love flying in Albuquerque is because of the Albuquerque Box. And the Albuquerque Box is a weather phenomenon that only happens in New Mexico. Okay. And it happens as a result of the Sandia Mountains, which go up to 10,400 feet. They're east of Albuquerque, very visible. In fact, if you ever get lost in Albuquerque, just look to the Sandias. They're always there on the east side of the city.
East side of the city, got it.
And so,
that'll come in handy, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
On my Breaking Bad tour.
I think so.
Wouldn't want to get lost on one of those.
Look to the east.
Certain neighborhoods I've seen in that show. Wouldn't want to get lost.
And so, you have the box, which is created by the Sandias and the Rio Grande. And basically it allows balloons to take off and land from the same location because there might be a wind out of the north at 200 feet above ground level. And then it shifts slightly to, a little bit more to the east, at 400 feet, and at 600 feet, it goes, maybe a little bit to the west and then another area to the north. And one thing leads to another. And next thing you know, you can literally fly and all over the Balloon Fiesta Park. Yeah.
And it's the Albuquerque Box, it's called. I had never heard of that.
Yeah. And so for the chase crew, it gets kind of boring because, you like to chase, right? But if the balloon is just kind of, doing boxes over the field, it's great for the spectators. But the chase crew, they're just like going, okay, are we ever going to leave the park? But anyway, so back in 2000, we launched 1,019 balloons. And at that point, we thought, you know what, maybe we should do something with a world record. And so the qualifications to get a world record at the time was very specific. You had to launch and then you had to pass a certain point within an hour. Well, we could only get maybe 350 balloons to cross that line of demarcation to record it. And so, we set 2 world records, both with the numbers less than 400. And then in 2013, you had a great festival in France that is actually on an old military runway. And what they did is they lined up 408 hot air balloons. It's like a mile of balloons, and they basically all inflate. And then, 3, 2, 1, just imagine that in French. I don't know French, but if you do, just say 3.
Trois, deux, un. 3, 2, 1, right? Close. I don't know. Un de trois, right?
I like it. And then all of the balloons launched. And so at that point, they broke our record in about maybe a minute. And so
the French.
I know. But even though, so what the Fiesta did at that point is we just said, you know what, we're not going to, compromise safety or anything like that to try and set a record. We already know that we have the largest. Well, it turns out when COVID hit and put everything on pause, I started talking with the editor over at the Guinness World Records. And he was saying, he goes, you know what? He says, I know you guys have the largest balloon event. I said, yeah. He goes, how can we go ahead and document that in some form? So that way you guys, if you have truly the largest event, we can document it and have you guys have the world record.
Oh, great.
And so we said, well, we have all these checks and balances. We have every pilot's name. We have the registration. We have field reports as far as who launched. And then we have a field report of who landed because they get propane. That turned out to be enough. And so 594 hot air balloons is the record that was set on October 6, 2019. And so we're thrilled to, really celebrate that record, but more importantly, because it's just a celebration of ballooning. And it's a sport that all of us really enjoy.
Take that, 99 Luft balloons, 80s song.
Nice reference.
Yeah, thank you very much. So where was the birthplace of the hot air balloon?
Well, the first hot air balloon flight was actually in France. And it was the first passengers, actually by the Depilatre family and Rosier family. They both basically found a sheep, a duck, and a rooster, and they sent those 3 animals up for the very first flight because nobody, it was like, what was going to happen, right? Well, let's send the animals. Exactly. And so then they realized, hey, you know what? Those animals look like they're having a lot of fun up there. Let's go ahead and get in that balloon instead.
Or they're petrified, one of the two, Look at that pig squealing. He's having a great time. But friends, there has been no animal testing done in Albuquerque at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. So don't worry about that. I was thinking, because when you mentioned France and it's like this little competition here between France and the US, I was like, I am pretty sure that if they didn't invent it, they had the first flight there, because that's there's all sorts of imagery of hot air balloons in France and so on. But back to Albuquerque, here. Now the Fiesta is over 8 days, which is incredible. How many people participate in it? I mean, of course, you had the record where you had 1,000 plus people, but pilots and so on. But how many people participate in it? And then how many tourists arrive for this as well?
Yeah, so this year's event is October 2nd through the 10th, and it's actually 9 days, a 9-day event. And
excuse me, it's that kind of party, folks. It's not just 8 days. It's 8 days, 16 nights.
There you go. I don't know about the 16 nights, but but anyway, I digress. So we typically have, like for this year, we'll have 544 pilots, primary pilots that will be participating in the event. We have about 3,000 volunteers, which includes about 1,000 chase crew, because all the pilots need to have support. And then we typically, on a typical year, we will host north of 1 million people will be guests at Balloon Fiesta Park during the 9-day event.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's a lot of people. It's quite a process, and there's a great volunteer board of directors that kind of helps to guide the 17 full-time staff members who work year round to put on this great event.
And obviously, I've seen now you've got some sponsors like Krispy Kreme and Coca-Cola. Obviously, they have seen this. And you're like, hey, look, there's going to be 1 million people here, and your brand can be associated with this. But besides the sponsors, what kind of impact does that have? 1 million people coming in, besides the locals, but what kind of financial impact does that have on the Albuquerque community?
It's really interesting because, the type of economic impact that we're looking at has a business volume of $186 million. And so it's a significant, financial benefit to the state of New Mexico, and more importantly to the Albuquerque area. So there's a lot of money that is generated, and a lot of jobs that are supported, a lot of livelihoods. And we like that, because a lot of those businesses are restaurants in Albuquerque that will host people who are coming in from Colorado, Texas, Arizona, New York, California, Washington. And then when international travel resumes, to the way that we're used to, we always get a number of visitors from Mexico, from South America, where we have a lot of our special shape pilots are from.
Okay.
And Europe has a huge contingent as well. So lots of folks coming in from around the world to celebrate ballooning in Albuquerque each year.
Yeah, the French want to come back, and they want to make sure that they are still ahead of the game. And you are, during the pandemic, you guys continue. You're like, they're not here. They can't travel. So this is our opportunity to just ramp up even more and lead the world in ballooning.
And as much as this banter is so much fun, I have to say that we have a really good relationship with the folks at the Lorraine, France event. Okay. In fact, the person who organizes it, his name is Philippe Baron de Pilatre. And Philippe is a fantastic person, great personality. And one year at Balloon Fiesta, he actually won a house at the event.
Here.
We had
how was that? You're giving away homes at this thing?
We have given away homes, we've given away cars, we've given away motorcycles. In this particular year, we had a sponsor who had a development south of Albuquerque, and they said, you know what, we want to give away a house to a pilot so that they can have a place to stay whenever they come into town. Yeah. And so we have probably, out of the 500 plus balloons, we've probably about 150 are from New Mexico. So we knew that there would be a pretty good chance that we'd have an international or somebody out of state who would win. Well, lo and behold, there were 5 pilots who all pulled a ticket off of one of the polls that we have in our competition day. We call it the poll grab at the time, or key grab. And so 5 of these folks all had a key that would open up a door that was on a stage. And whoever's key opened the door, they would win the house. And so Philippe turned the key, and he had won. And, of course, the drama was because he was the last one to put the key in. Everybody kind of thought he's going to win, or there's been a major malfunction. Yeah. And he ended up,
the fix is in.
It could have been that too, but no, I know that he definitely uses that, or has used the house in the past, and we see him every year. So it's great.
And he can Airbnb it in the meantime when he's not using it. That is so cool. So what other kind of prizes can you win? I mean, you said this very competitive people that are involved in this, and they're putting some big cash behind these balloons. So what other prizes besides all you can eat Krispy Kreme donuts and Coca-Cola?
Oh, it be still my heart. That's good stuff right there. A nice hot Krispy Kreme and a nice
Yes.
cold egg. I totally digress. There are a lot of different cash prizes. Actually, to be honest, I don't know what prizes are going to be available for this year because they haven't announced them yet.
Okay.
But typically there are big prizes, and we have 200 pilots that typically participate in the competition days. And those competition days of the 9 days, because it starts on a Saturday and it ends that following Sunday, it takes place Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And so you always know the competition because as soon as the 200 plus or 400 balloons launch from Balloon Fiesta Park, leaving the field, they will, corner off the field and set up the target area, and the competitors will launch offsite to fly towards the field. And from a spectator's perspective, quite frankly, this is one of my favorite events. Is to be on the competition field and all the balloons are flying towards you. It's like a wall of balloons. It's simply amazing.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, it really is. But we have the regular shaped balloons, and then we have the racer balloons. The racers are kind of like an egg shaped balloon, and the pilots are just so precise. Because really, when you go up in a balloon, you can only really control your altitude. How high up or how low you go. After that, you're at the will of the wind, and these pilots are so good at really seeing where the wind is and being able to determine at what altitude they need to be at. They're great observers. And so that's the really kind of cool thing about fiestas. You get to kind of, see how they think. And in the context of just art, as they're dropping down into the field and dropping their targets.
Now, besides ballooning, I mean, that is the first thing that's going to draw you to it. But I saw some other activities. And how did chainsaw art, how did this become a part of Balloon Fiesta?
It's a great attraction. We actually had people who requested it. They say, hey, you know what?
Wow.
If you're taking suggestions, there's a chainsaw carving. And so, one of the things that Balloon Fiesta does is we go out to other festivals and we kind of see what their best practices are. And so I think it was a suggestion combined with somebody going, hey, you know what? We could have chainsaw carving here. And then the board of directors looked at it and they go, chainsaw carving? Okay, that sounds like a good idea. And so they're out there on the north end. It's
a natural fit, chainsaws, and
it's really amazing. I have a 3-foot carving of a Seahawk with a balloon in its grasp, and it's like right in its beak and stuff. And to see that level of detail in the carving, you think, no, they didn't do that with a chainsaw, but they did.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I've seen some of that. I saw some pictures on your website, and I know a house near where I grew up where this guy he turned a tree in his front yard with chainsaws into like this dolphin, like,
wow,
this sort of almost like swimming out of a way, like coming out of the water, and painted it. And I don't know if the neighbors like it or not, but I know that it's pretty cool just to drive by and see it.
That is cool.
Yeah. I'm sure the neighbors are like, so what are you doing there, Steve?
Yeah.
Chainsaw, huh? Wow, a dolphin. Oh, look at that.
That would be amazing.
I
might have to keep that in mind.
You're going to chop it down afterwards, right? You're not going to leave that. You're going to leave it there. Wow. Oh, okay. So that's going to be in your front yard. Okay. Got it. Done. But it is amazing, right? With this not so precise tool that's used to just destroy things. And there they are, just being like they have a paintbrush. It is, and they're working with wood tools, but no, it's all chainsaw. It's really incredible.
Yeah, the finesse is really quite amazing to see how well they can use that. But yeah, so we have chainsaw carving. We also have skydivers, Team Fast Tracks. They love to jump out of planes with parachutes and make designs in the sky. Pop smoke, and it just looks amazing. And these are some professional skydivers that are out at Balloon Fiesta for all of our events. And then we also have on the first Saturday, during the first weekend, we have the Fiesta of Wheels car show. Actually, that's on the first Sunday of Balloon Fiesta. And it's about 80 to 100 classic cars, and they'll populate the north end of Balloon Fiesta Park after the field is closed. And then we also just have, a lot of breakfast burritos, because the breakfast burrito.
I would fly out there just for the breakfast burrito.
You know what? If you wanted to, you could actually spend your morning going up and down our main street. And we have about 25 different food vendors. And of those, I would say at least 15 all have their version of the breakfast burrito. And it is the reason the breakfast burrito is so iconic to ballooning is because it's the perfect grab and go kind of food. The first breakfast burrito was actually invented in Santa Fe, and it was perfected, I like to think, in Albuquerque, and was really kind of brought to light with the whole Balloon Fiesta, because pilots were going, I need something that's not only handheld, but can easily be put in the pockets of my jacket, but also warm up my hands if I need to. And so the breakfast burrito, thing. Absolutely. And so, they'll typically wait till they're airborne, and then they'll just, peel back the foil and enjoy their breakfast burrito. So it's one of the things that makes Albuquerque, so unique.
And I was hoping that somewhere somebody would finally give me the history of the breakfast burrito. So thank you. I am indebted to you for that. And of course, our French friends have their own take on it, the breakfast crepe, but probably less sausage and eggs than that one.
Yeah.
Less. Yes. And the salsa is not very good in France either, guys. Don't.
Well, I've never tried the salsa in France, but I can tell you that right now it is green chili season in New Mexico. And the green chili is simply amazing, especially when they're roasting the green chilies.
Fire get that on green chilies. Oh, come on.
Man, it's just good stuff.
So one of the other events salsa, you can do a green chili salsa. Oh my God.
Oh,
I need to eat before I do these things. I'm starving now.
So one of the other events that we have that's going to be taking place is the America's Challenge Gas Balloon Race. And, whereas the hot air balloon events, they'll launch, and, usually it's about a 3 to 4, 5 hour flying window. Then the balloons land, and they pack up their balloons with their chase crew. They have the initiation for those who are first time flyers. And they typically, everybody heads back to Balloon Fiesta to tailgate. Okay. And so the whole experience is about 6 hours at the most and stuff. But the gas balloon pilots, wow, these are like the jet fighters, just as far as they invest quite a bit in all of the balloon equipment that they use and everything. And so these balloons will inflate starting Saturday at noon. And it usually takes about 5 hours for them to inflate. And they're inflating their balloons with hydrogen gas. And they are, it's all very slow, methodical process. And they will actually launch from Balloon Fiesta with the goal of flying the farthest distance. And so we've had balloons that have literally traveled up into Wisconsin, as far as North Carolina, as far north as Nova Scotia. Incredible. And it's really quite impressive to see the distances that we have.
And the two gases that they would use, you mentioned hydrogen, but also there's helium. But helium's a lot more expensive and a bit more rare, maybe not rare, but just tougher to get in that kind of quantity. Because if you're doing competitions as well, you can only have a certain amount that goes through the envelope as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. As soon as they remove the hose, which is providing all of the gas into the envelope, they tie up literally or cork the bottom of the envelope, and that's all the helium or hydrogen that you get for that particular race. And so they always have to be sure to be very careful on how, if they vent at all while they're flying. And why they want to do that is because they would want to lose altitude really quick. Maybe there's an obstacle that's fast approaching, or they just need to avoid a storm or they're landing. And so all of those are great reasons why people would want to literally red line or pull the red line to basically let to vent the gas. But for the most part, they don't want to do that. And so to help them, kind of moderate their altitude, they have ballast. And the ballast is something that is in the form of sand. And it's a very specific kind of sand that can't necessarily collect water. It's a type of sand that is a very fine sand that they can just kind of level out and such, because if there's some sand that holds water, and then that throws off the weight. And that's the one thing that they're always monitoring, is how much weight do we have on board.
Of course. Yeah. Especially if we're racing.
Yeah. Yeah. And the nice thing is that you can monitor all of this on the Balloon Fiesta's webpage, because all these balloons have trackers. And so they're able to see, oh, hey, this balloon is over Topeka, Kansas. And if you're in Topeka, Kansas, you can go, hey, I'm going to go outside and look at the gas balloon. Yeah. And you can actually see them. They're up usually about 30,000 feet during the day.
And besides the website, I did see that you have an app as well. So you can download that. You can follow the balloons. You can find out all this stuff. But here's the payoff, man. We have found out all this history, the breakfast burrito, of the hot air balloon, of perhaps chainsawing, so many things happening. But how do we buy tickets so that we can see it all live in person? And is there a VIP ticket? So do I get like a golden leaf breakfast burrito or something like that?
I love it. Kind of like the Willy Wonka. Yeah. Very nice thing.
I got the golden ticket.
We don't have a golden ticket, but we do have a lot of sponsor VIP hospitality types of things. And so for you, when you come out, you let me know, and we'll make sure that your burrito has the golden ticket and such. But for the rest of us mere mortals, here's what we can do. We can go to balloonfiesta.com, and we have a ticketing page, and that you can buy your tickets online and have them just on your phone. And we also, on the web page, we have a link to our app, so you can download it. So you can basically do everything online these days, it seems. Yeah. And so, that's the key thing. Some of the items that we offer that's kind of like part of that VIP experience, we have glamping. So we have, a number of glamping high-end tents. They do s'mores and sing songs at night afterwards. It's like the old campfires and stuff. I like it. And so you have glamping.
Who needs to win a free house when you got glamping?
That's a good question. I'll have to ask. But we also have the Gondola Club, and the Gondola Club is just like white tablecloth service, actual silverware, nice glasses, and you get to sit there at the southwest part of the field and literally enjoy breakfast. Maybe it's eggs Benedict, maybe it's an omelet, and you get to watch the balloons leave Balloon Fiesta Park, just sipping in your chair, enjoying nice hot coffee. Oh. And so it's really
that a hot Krispy Kreme donut.
I don't know if they serve Krispy Kremes in the Gondola Club, but I'm sure if you sneak one in, that they'd be. But we have Krispy Kremes that are available up and down Main Street. And so you can definitely get those and walk around and enjoy the Krispy Kreme Morning Glow, which is each of the morning mass ascension mornings. And there are 13, a baker's dozen, of balloons that will inflate and just do static display shortly after the Dawn Patrol leaves to the skies. So a lot of things, but other VIP experiences include the concierge program, where you have a tour guide that will get you in a golf cart, and you get to drive around Balloon Fiesta, see some of the behind the scenes type stuff. And you get to talk to somebody who's knowledgeable about the event and can answer all of your questions. And so we have that. And then of course we have the two other clubs that are also available, which includes the Chasers Club. And the Chasers Club is right there on the field. You get your own coffee, breakfast burrito, Krispy Kreme, and you get to basically enjoy, a nice warm kind of area, because we have those propane burners, right? Yeah. That are, those giant kind of heater things, and they keep everybody warm if they need to. Otherwise, you just kind of move your chair to the side a little bit farther out of the heat. But it's really a great sight to see, and a lot of things to do at Balloon Fiesta Park.
Amazing. So we go to balloonfiesta.com to get our tickets. And hey, I would love to be a member of the Gondola Club. That sounds fantastic. And we are unfortunately out of time, and that's a shame because I'm still full of hot air. I know that. And I just want to say thank you to Tom Garrity. Check it out once again. What about Instagram or anything like that? Can we find you guys on the social media side of things?
Yeah, absolutely. All of our handles for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok is Balloon Fiesta. So at Balloon Fiesta.
At Balloon Fiesta. There we go. They got it all. Well done to you guys on that. I can't wait to go see it. It's around the corner, folks. It's happening in early October. Be there and experience it all. Tom Garrity, thank you so much. Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. Not a festival, but Fiesta. And we will see you there. And we'll see you next time on Festival Pass Stories. Thanks a lot. This is Festival Pass Stories, a podcast series is told by the people who create and make festivals come to life. You will go behind the stage, kitchen, or studio door to hear the stories of passion and inspiration that started some of the world's most beloved festivals. Hear the startup stories and how an idea went from what if to what's next.